This program is presented by the Associated General Contractors of America.
This is the job site, a busy place where most jobs are completed on time, without problems. We do our best to keep the job site safe, but sometimes things go wrong. That's when I go to work. I carry a clipboard. I'm a supervisor. This is my beat. The job site. It's a clean, safe place with a hard-working crew. But it wasn't always that way. I'll never forget the first job I supervised. Safety was the #1 priority. The directive came from the top, and the owner had the numbers to back him up. The cost of work-related accidents nationwide was $34.8 billion in 1987. In the construction industry alone, accident costs are now approaching $3 billion per year. Those numbers don't take into account the human trauma of injuries, the effect accidents have on the crew and customer, and the other indirect costs and complications. We looked through the files. A lot of the same accidents kept happening. There seemed to be only one answer: an accident investigation policy. A thorough investigation would help us prevent accidents. We could learn from the past to prevent accidents in the future. We could filter out facts, not fault. I told him I'd handle it.
Give me 3 days.
Okay. People think supervising is a glamour job, carrying a clipboard, a walkie-talkie, ordering everyone around. They don't see the reality. Coordination, the diplomacy, the down and dirty work it takes to make a job site safe and efficient. There was a lot of trial and error trying to perfect and improve the accident investigation procedure. When the whole thing finally came together, I had learned the 5 steps to every investigation. Aid the injured and provide proper medical assistance. Secure the area. Investigate and define the facts. Find the real cause. Review and analyze the facts gathered. Take action. Corrective measures can reduce the possibility of the accident happening again. I'll never forget my first successful case. I got the call on a Tuesday. There'd been an accident, a fall.
Okay, I copy that. Don't move him. I'm gonna get a hold of paramedics. I'm on my way.
It was time to put the accident investigation plan into action. The first responsibility in an accident is to aid the injured. Marty took quite a fall. He was lucky. It looked like the main injury was a broken leg. It could have been worse. The ambulance crew took good care of him. An accident is upsetting to everyone on the crew, so it's important to reassure them. It's also important to note who's in the area, so you can question them later. Witnesses are an important part of any investigation.
They're gonna take him to County General and call me as soon as there's any information. I'll be sure and let you know if I hear anything, okay? Let's get back to work. I'm gonna want to talk to y'all later about this, but in the meantime, let's just try and keep it under wraps, okay? Don't be spreading it around. Okay? All right, thanks, guys. See you later.
Next, secure the area. This can keep an accident from getting worse. I sent someone upstairs to cordon off the area around the hole that Marty fell through. I secured the area where Marty landed. Just like the police secure a crime scene, you must secure the accident scene to make sure important facts aren't disturbed or lost. The next step is to observe the scene without disturbing it. Make a sketch or take pictures to help you remember what the scene looked like. Pictures are especially helpful because you can capture details on film that you may not catch in your initial observation. An accident investigation report can help you keep track of the details as you make your observations. Start by recording the time of day and the exact location of the accident. Identify the type of injury, the part of the body injured, and the action that resulted in the injury. In Marty's case, a fall broke his leg. All of this information is vital in helping review and identify accident trends over time. After you record the general information, observe the accident scene more closely. List anything that's unusual, like broken equipment or tools, spilled material, or poor lighting. Sketches and pictures can help put the scene in perspective. In checking the area where Marty fell, I found small pieces of particle board. I found another larger piece on the floor. It looked like it had some writing on it, looked like a Z or an N. I made a note on the report and kept a piece so I could look at it again later. There wasn't any property or vehicle damage in this accident, and physical conditions such as rain or slippery conditions weren't a factor. I did notice that the housekeeping on 5 was in pretty poor shape. There were a lot of trip hazards that could have been a factor. I checked the rest of the physical surroundings. Loud noise, poor lighting, impaired visibility, or any other number of distractions may have contributed to the accident. None of those items seems to be a factor this time, though. The key to a thorough investigation is looking for facts. List what is rather than what is not, and don't try to assess blame. Unsafe acts by employees are often because of improper training, lack of supervision, or a poorly designed or unsafe job. Most accidents are caused by a combination of factors, not just one. Think the way a detective does. Use the 5 W's and the H. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Don't color your observations with opinions at this point. Sticking to just the facts will help you gather the information you need. Analyzing the facts comes later. I finished investigating the accident scene. Now it was time to interview the witnesses. Witnesses should be interviewed as soon as possible. Human nature being what it is, people want to talk about the accident, what they saw, what they knew. It's important to talk to the witnesses before they've spent any time talking about the accident to one another. This will help you get individual observations while they're fresh and help you avoid group stories. I always do my best to put the witness at ease. Employees are often fearful that they or a co-worker will be blamed for the accident. Let witnesses tell what they heard or saw in their own words. I don't lead them into statements. Again, look for facts, not fault.
Thanks for coming in today, Brian. Have a seat. I wanted to talk to as many people as possible about what they saw when Marty fell. I want to make sure we don't have that kind of an accident again.
Hey, I didn't see anything. And even if I did, I wouldn't say it. I mean, I'm not going to rat on anybody.
I'm not looking for people to blame. I just want to know what happened.
Okay, so I'm minding my own business, you know, doing my own thing, and I hear this crash, and I thought, well, what's that? I mean, because there's no real loud work around here, you know? And then I hear this yell, and I turn around, and this guy's laying on the ground. I mean, I don't even know where he came from.
I can't believe it happened, you know? I mean, Mel and me saw that hole, and I said, that's dangerous, you know? I'm going to get somebody to cover it up. And Mel agreed. Now, Mel said he'd stay and watch it until I got it covered. So I went over to the skip. I figured someone could radio down and get a cover up here.
I also talked to Marty. He said he never saw any hole in the floor, that he was moving some materials, and out of the corner of his eye he saw some debris. He didn't want to slip, so he did a little hop over it. Next thing he knew, he was on the 4th floor. It's important to realize that there may be discrepancies in the investigation. Differences in what you think happened and what the injured person or witnesses have told you. Keep an open mind and question your own conclusions and the statements of the witnesses until the facts are clear.
I mean, everything happened so fast. But I thought I did the right thing, you know.
What do you mean?
Well, John and I saw the hole, and we knew it was dangerous. And so John went to get something to cover it up, and I stuck around to make sure nobody fell through. I mean, it was really busy around there.
What happened next?
Okay, I was waiting for John. And then these sheet metal guys were really having one heck of a time, and Charlie yells out, Mel, we need a body over here. And I said, well, Charlie, I can't. I'm waiting here for John. Charlie says, Mel, we need a body now. And I could see he wasn't kidding. These guys really needed help. So I saw this piece of plywood, and it was really pretty sturdy. And I sprayed danger on it, and then I put it over the hole. I thought that would be enough until John got back, but I mean, I even tested that thing before I went over to help those guys, and it was strong. I don't know how Marty fell through.
The pieces were beginning to come together. I had re-interviewed Marty and Mel to clarify a couple of points. My analysis was almost complete. My investigation led me to believe an accident is a series of events. If you break down the events and look at how and why each thing happened, you can identify the primary and secondary causes of the accident. This is crucial to the prevention of loss and injury. My reconstruction of the events showed that there was an uncovered opening in the floor. John and Mel noticed the hole and took immediate action. John went to get a proper cover while Mel stood by to make sure no one was injured. But Charlie's group was in trouble and needed help. But before Mel went to assist them, he got a piece of scrap and covered the hole. He wrote danger on it and tested the strength before he went to help the other guys. Then Marty comes along. He's moving some materials, and he notices there's something on the floor that he's about to trip over. He does an extra hop to avoid that hazard and lands smack on the particle board. The particle board isn't strong enough for the added force of Marty's jump, and it breaks. Marty falls through to the next floor. The primary cause of the accident was an uncovered opening in the floor. That was a failure on management's part to make sure the floor was properly inspected and hazards eliminated. There were a couple secondary causes. First, John and Mel did the right thing and they had good intentions. They saw safety as everyone's responsibility and they took action to try to avoid an injury. However, with proper training, Mel would have realized that the particle board he used was too thin to support the potential load, even on a temporary basis. It wasn't strong enough, and it wasn't placed securely. And the area should have been roped off with a caution banner or some other temporary warning system until the hazard was eliminated. The other secondary cause was housekeeping. I didn't realize it until I looked closely at the pictures I took. I think I must have walked the floor so many times that I didn't notice, but the housekeeping was terrible. If the floor had been clear, Marty wouldn't have had to jump over a trip hazard, and he might have noticed the particle board on the floor as being out of place and avoided stepping on it. That brought me to the final step in the accident investigation process. Take corrective action. Identifying the primary and secondary causes of the accident showed me exactly what we needed to do. First, have a regular job site inspection. The site is constantly changing. A regular inspection will help eliminate hazards. Second, improved safety training. John and Mel had the right idea, but the series of events led to an accident anyway, in spite of their best intentions. I had to make sure employees were properly trained and that they knew who to report to if there's a hazard or if an accident occurs. I also made certain that proper equipment was available in every job box on every floor so that a hazard can be safely and effectively dealt with until the permanent solution arrives. Third, good housekeeping is vital. I make sure that everyone knows they're supposed to pick up after themselves every day, and every Friday we clean every floor. The subs are supposed to do it themselves. If they don't, we do it and charge them back. With Marty's accident, the solutions were clear and easy to achieve. It's important to set corrective goals that are attainable and to set a realistic schedule for completion. The goals should be specific. You should outline who will implement each step and when it will be completed. Every supervisor, no matter what his beat, has to deal with paperwork. Forms and accident reports are one of your most valuable resources. They provide information for future reference and a convenient way to list the information you've gathered and the action taken. They will also help you when it's time to fill out your forms for OSHA. OSHA Form 101 is required for all recordable illnesses and injuries, and the OSHA Summary Form 200 must be completed annually and posted by February 1st. Most of the information for the summary form can be taken right from the accident investigation report. At our next meeting, the owner and I went over everything that had happened with Marty's fall. It helped solidify our accident investigation procedure. Aid the injured person. Secure the area. Investigate and define the facts. Find the real cause. Review and analyze the information. Take corrective measures. The procedure didn't take much extra time, and it really made a difference. It showed us what was missing from our safety program and really helped us plug up the holes. Using just the facts, we made some real progress toward an injury-free job site. This is the job site. A busy place where most jobs are completed on time, without problems. Now, we don't wait for things to go wrong. We work hard on prevention. That's my job. I carry a clipboard.